Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna teach you about some basic RBD and how I achieve this effect by transferring velocity on the chunks. So let's get started. Here I have one basic pillar model downloaded from internet. So it's a pretty basics. So after this, I have to take one rest position to mark it rest and use one ISO offset for some fracture and take 80 for now. Yeah, it's good. And let's create one scatter node, not like 1000, we will take like 60 is enough. And okay, let's scatter again and take like 10 points on this scatter and type one point replicate and just replicate around 15 points on this, and you have to decrease and make it sphere and decrease it like 0.4 somewhere like this. And if you want to add some noise you can, and let's merge this too. So it will create one randomness on my Voronoi fracture. Let's take one Voronoi fracture, and this is the geometry. First contacts to geometry, second one with Voronoi points. Yes. So check the Voronoi things. You have to type one explode view and click on the view and see the Voronoi fractures is working fine. Make it aside and take one assemble node after this Voronoi thing to make it packed on this. Click on this pack geometry, and if you go to this geometry spreadsheet, it will create one name per pieces, like from 4 pieces 0. If you change this name to somewhere like chunks and type one underscore, say chunks 0, chunk 1, chunk 2. Okay, let's go with the chunk name. And if you want to transfer your things, like if you have some other velocity things, you can transfer UV, path attribute, whatever. If you want to transfer, you can transfer from here. So for me nothing is there, that's why I'm going forward. And for after this I'm gonna create one file cache node. File cache, go to this, we go for cache and write fractured pillar dot $f4 dot bgo dot sc extension, and I'm gonna cache only single frame over here. No need of cache everything because there is no animation, nothing. So just save for current frame, click on save to disk and load from the disk, and it's cache. But you can see the second frame, the cache is not generated. No problem. For this, for holding things on the first frame, you have to type 5 time shift and just delete channel and make it on the first frame. And now you can see it's hold the first frame to end of the frame. Now I can create one null and then .NET. So let's start with the .NET. Go inside the .NET, and it's a packed object, so we have to take RBD packed object, and for the solver rigid body solver, and we want one ground plane, we want merge, and we need some gravity too. So let's connect all the things wisely. Yep, and here's the packed object. So for object thing I have to take from geometry source first context because it's connected to the first context of this DOP, and rest of the things should be same default. Let's check, is it working or not? Yes, it's working fine. Yes. For now, if you see my preview video, there's a force acted on this pillar, and here there's no force. It's simply falling down. So let's start with the force. For creating the force, let's import one line. So why I choose line? Because it's a pillar type of object. So for pillar, my line will be the good option. So it's not like if I'm taking this line as a force, you have to take the line. It's not mandatory, because in this project file I have like pillar thing, so that's why I take line. And if you have some other thing, like if you have some character, if you have some tree, if you have something else like mountain, stone, boulders, so you can choose accordingly. Might be line will work on your scene file. Check with this too. So for this line is pretty small for this. So let's start transform and make it 4 times. Yeah, 4 times is enough. Type resample below this one and move the points. Yeah, it's enough points. Yeah. And on this resample, just click on curve view. I'll tell you why I choose curve view over here. And after this, type one point node, point, and instead of position, take normal, and here add constant value and make it 5. Let's off this. You can see on the x-axis the normals are created with the value of 5. Okay, so let's put one attribute triangle and type at n and to equal to switch ramp. So you can choose any name for your ramp. So I choose normals curve, and based on curve view which we have selected before. Now you can see, let's off the template. Now you can see our normals are act like from bottom it is 0 and from top it is like this, and you can control your normals things with this ramp however you want. So let's create one attribute warp and go inside. Simply choose this normal as velocity, force. So normal as force, normal as normal. Now normal will act as velocity, force and normal. Okay, simply type null and put on second context of this one and type out force. Go inside. So the challenge is how to import our force inside DOP network. So create one geo warp, geometry warp. Yes, bit complicated but very easy. Okay, after creating geo warp, go to inputs. On the second input you have to choose the second context. What is the second context? Our force in the second context. Okay, go inside. Just make a room and type near point, and for the near points on this position to position and input, you this near point wants some input. Input is second input. Why second input? Because we already choose second input as our second context, means second force. Okay, now I have to import our force value, import point attribute here, and the file should be on second input. Okay, let me just create like this for better visibility. And import the attribute force, and point numbers, this one from the near point. Same, copy and paste, press Alt and drag. Everything should be same, and instead of force we have to type the position. And now create one distance node, and distance should be from first position to this position. Have to create one distance, then create one multiply on this, and multiply this force with this distance, and finally now add the main force to this force value and apply on this output as a force. So now how can I check whether my force is working or not properly? It's working, but in a very minimal way, I think. Yeah, so go to this Google map type icon over here. On this you can see the .NET, you can see the plus button. Click on this marker, and you can name as force, label as force, and this attribute, I want to visualize my force attribute, so type force over here, and text style to vector, and show arrow tip. Is it working on? Yes, it's working. But you can see this force is act in every frame. It is continuing, you can see, and in a very minimal way. So what I need, this force should be act in 1 to 2 frame, and then it become off. So for this, go inside on this multiply, click on promote attribute, and type force mult. Yes, force mult. You can see down here, over here, the force multiplication. So on the first frame, I'm gonna give you like 100 value, and on the third frame, I can say let's off it. See, the force is acting but properly, but the force is very less, I think. Let's start with 900 like this. Let's see. Yeah, it's working very fine. Let's make it 50. 50 is enough. Yes, you can see. So let's import DOP import over here and drop down the DOP network like this, and I have to take this one as an object mask. Import style to fetch geometry to DOP. So only our pillar thing will come. Yes. Okay. You can see there is no detail on these chunks. It's all plain and flattered details. So if you want detail after your fracture, so what you have to create is on this Voronoi fracture, first node, just type RBD detail, interior detail. Yeah, not both, only with single. Click on this. Now let's view with explode view. Check the detail. It is very minimal, so let's increase to 0.3, something like this. Yeah, and this is all up to you, how much detail you want. Yes, is enough. Yeah, that is enough for me. Now just make one null over here. Now take one transform pieces on this, and on this first context you can select this interior detail one, and the second context the plain one, and let's check. You can see our detail is not working properly. It came to its rest position first. Why this is so? So you remember we changed the name of these pieces over here to chunks, but what about the Voronoi? Once Voronoi fracture these pieces, so if you go to geometry spreadsheet, so this name is in pieces 1, pieces 2, like this. If you check pieces 9, pieces 31, these all unpacked pieces. So here the Voronoi is already given the name as pieces, but after that we change this one as chunks, right? So if you after assemble, if you go to this packed object, because it become packed, so it's on point, you can see it's on chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3, chunk 4, like this. So now on the RBD details, I mean the piece name from piece to chunks. So how? So just simple add assemble node over here, simply, and instead of packed object, just change this name to chunks. Copy, paste. Okay, don't do packed object over here. We need unpack on this. Go to scene view, and if you click on transform pieces, see now from this flatted object to it's on interior detail. Let's play. Yep, it's working fine. That's it guys for this tutorial. And the last thing is, this is not the only way to achieve this type of effect. Might be you guys have lots of other things, lots of other ideas to achieve this kind of effect. You can also go with that. But remember, this is my R&D, very simple. So that's why I think might be some guys will get some help on this, and those who are new even, and those who don't know about this effect. And so thank you guys. If you like this effect, please like the video, and we'll meet on next. Thank you.